You are not born in a hospital. Hospitals are for people who need help.
You are born in a sovereign medical territory, a 47-floor private structure your grandfather commissioned in 11 days. The building has one purpose, one patient, you. The moment you leave, it gets decommissioned. Your first breath costs more than the average human will earn across 4 combined lifetimes. Not because anyone planned it that way, just because that's what the air costs when it's that good. The doctors don't use standard equipment. Every instrument is custom forged and coated in an alloy that doesn't exist in any public catalog. You don't get a plastic hospital bracelet. A jeweler from Florence is flown in 3 months before your birth to forge a 22-karat gold anklet engraved with your full royal name, all 11 words of it. The moment you take your first breath, every major landmark your father has a relationship with lights up in green and gold. The Burj Khalifa projects a 3D hologram of your DNA into the clouds. Fireworks go off in 7 cities simultaneously. 3 of those cities are in different time zones, and it is currently 3 a.m. for their residents. Nobody complains. Nobody would dare. You leave on day 3, not because you are medically ready, because your father decided day 3 was the correct number and rescheduled your biology accordingly. Leaving is a 34-vehicle motorcade. Helicopters sweep the route. Snipers are on rooftops not because there is a threat, but because this is simply the standard procedure when you are you. You arrive at the palace feeling nothing. Not a bump, not a turn, not the concept of movement. The world moved around you. You stayed exactly where you were, which, in a sense, is always how it goes. Your home is not a house. It is a private nation. It has its own postal code, its own power grid, its own time zone, adjusted by 14 minutes because your grandfather once said standard time felt slightly rushed. Nobody argued with him. The adjustment stands to this day. It has 340 rooms. You will not visit all of them before your 5th birthday. 3 of those rooms exist on architectural plans but have never been opened because nobody remembers what they were built for. Your father once sent a team to investigate. They found another room inside that wasn't on any plan. Nobody questioned it. They furnished it anyway. Your nursery simulates the atmospheric conditions of the French Alps in September 1908, the single best year for air quality in recorded history, according to a Swiss scientist your father hired specifically to determine that number. The walls are not painted. They are lined with hand-woven fabric produced by 40 artisans over 19 months. The thread count of the walls is higher than the thread count of any bedsheet available to the public. You are 3 years old when you first understand the concept of wanting something. You are sitting on the terrace of the palace, watching the horizon, and you point at the sky and say one word, blue. You want blue. Your father asks what specifically about blue you want. You think about it for 4 seconds and say, everything. By the following morning, your personal wing of the palace has been repainted, redecorated, and restocked in 47 different shades of blue. The painters worked through the night. There were 200 of them. You look at it, nod once, and go back to eating breakfast. Your father smiles. This is the moment he knows you are ready. You are 5 years old. You are on the family yacht, not the small one, the one with the helipad and the submarine dock, somewhere in the Maldives. You are eating mango. A member of staff points at a small island in the distance and mentions that it is privately owned and recently listed for sale. You look at the island for approximately 2 seconds. You look back at your mango. You say quietly that you want it. Nobody laughs. Nobody asks why. Nobody asks what a 5-year-old plans to do with a sovereign piece of land in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Within 45 minutes, a phone call is made. Within 3 hours, the paperwork is being drafted. By the time you finish your mango, the island has a new owner.
You visit it once. You decide the sand is the wrong color. You never go back. The island sits there to this day, fully staffed, fully maintained, waiting for a return visit that has not been scheduled. It costs more per month than most people spend on housing in a lifetime. This is not a concern. This is just Tuesday.
You are 6 when you accidentally acquire a Formula One team. Your father takes you to a race. You are not particularly interested in the race, you are interested in the cars. Specifically, you want the red one. You tell your father you want the red one. He assumes you mean the team. He makes a call during the 3rd lap. By the time the race ends, the team has new ownership. The drivers find out from the news. You wanted a toy version of the red car. There was a gift shop. A staff member eventually finds it and presents it to you. You put it in your pocket and forget about it by dinner. The actual Formula One team is still yours. Someone manages it on your behalf. They send you quarterly reports. You have never opened one. You do not go to school. School is a place where children go when their fathers cannot simply hire the people who wrote the textbooks. Your mathematics tutor won a Fields Medal and turned down 3 university presidencies to take this role. Your history professor has advised 4 heads of state. Your physical education trainer has 2 Olympic gold medals and spends 40 minutes before each session reviewing your biometric data from the previous night's sleep. You learn to read from original manuscripts, not copies, originals. Your father acquires a private collection of handwritten documents from history's greatest minds and has them mounted in your study room because he believes your eyes should only trace greatness from the very beginning. You are not told to be careful with them. There are more in storage. By age 7, you speak 5 languages, not because you studied, because the palace staff operate in 5 languages and you simply absorbed them the way other children absorb cartoon theme songs. Your 6th language is currently being installed passively through your sleep audio system. You are not aware this is happening. You want a dog. Your father buys you a dog. A fully trained, competition-grade Belgian Malinois with a pedigree so long it has its own separate document. The dog arrives with its own handler, its own veterinarian on permanent retainer, its own nutritionist who custom prepares every meal, and its own security detail because the dog is now technically an asset of the royal household and is treated accordingly. You play with the dog for one afternoon. You decide dogs are fine, but you want something bigger. Your father acquires 2 white falcons, a cheetah that previously belonged to a royal family in Abu Dhabi, and a pair of Arabian horses with lineage traced back 400 years. The horses have their own wing. The wing is larger than most family homes. The cheetah wears a collar that costs more than most cars. You name the cheetah Gerald. Nobody questions the name. Gerald is fed Wagyu beef twice a day. Gerald has never once been asked to do anything. Gerald simply exists in your life as a reminder that in your world, even the animals live better than most humans. On your 10th birthday, your father sits you down and explains that you are now old enough to manage your own finances. He hands you a document. The document outlines your monthly allowance. The number on the document does not have a currency symbol because at this level, the currency is assumed. The number itself requires a moment to count the digits. You look at the number, you look at your father, you ask if this is the weekly amount. It is the daily amount. You nod, you fold the document, you put it in your pocket next to the forgotten Formula One toy car. You go back to your birthday party, which is taking place on a temporary artificial island constructed in the shape of your initials, 40 minutes off the coast, accessible only by helicopter or the family submarine. The guest list is 200 people. Every single one of them arrived by private jet. The combined net worth of the guests, excluding your family, exceeds the GDP of several European nations. The birthday cake took 3 weeks to make. You eat 1 slice, decide the second layer is slightly too sweet, and the entire remaining cake is quietly removed and replaced within 8 minutes. Nobody mentions it.
You are 12 when you first visit a shopping mall. Not because you needed anything, because a friend mentions the concept and you find it interesting as an experience. The way a marine biologist finds a fish interesting, not to eat, just to observe. You arrive at the mall. Within 6 minutes, the energy is wrong.
There are too many people, and the lighting is inconsistent, and someone walks past you eating something that smells aggressively average. You make one phone call. The mall is privately rented for the remainder of the day. 4,000 shoppers are politely directed to the exits. They are each given a gift card as compensation. The gift card amount is generous enough that most of them consider it the best shopping trip they never completed. You spend 25 minutes in the mall. You buy one item, a snow globe. You liked the way the snow moved. You already own 3 private islands and a Formula One team and a cheetah named Gerald, but today, the snow globe is the thing that made you feel something. You carry it back to the helicopter yourself. You don't let the staff hold it. Some things you hold yourself. People on the internet talk about manifesting their dream life, vision boards, affirmations, journals. They write down what they want and believe hard enough and hope the universe responds. In your world, the universe doesn't need to respond. Your father's assistant calls it directly. You have never wanted something and not received it. You have never looked at a price and hesitated. You have never heard the word budget used in a sentence that applied to you. The concept of something being out of reach is so foreign to your experience that when you first heard the phrase in a movie at age 9, you had to ask your tutor what it meant. He explained it. You were quiet for a long moment. Then you asked if the people in the movie needed help. You were genuinely concerned. You didn't understand that it was a normal condition for most of the world. You still don't, not really, not in a way that lands. This is not arrogance. Arrogance requires awareness of the gap. You simply live on a different plane of existence where the rules that govern everyone else's life were never installed in yours. You are 13 now. You are sitting on the terrace of the palace, the same terrace where, 8 years ago, you pointed at the horizon and said you wanted everything blue. You look out at the ocean. You already own part of it. Not legally, you can't own an ocean, but there is an island out there with your name on it that you visited once and decided had the wrong color sand. You make a mental note to have the sand changed. You pick up your phone and send one message. I want the sand on the island to be white. Not normal white, the white from that beach in the Maldives. Bring that sand. 3 people immediately begin making arrangements to relocate sand across international waters. You go inside for lunch. Gerald, the cheetah, follows you in. It's a normal Tuesday.